Okay, let's dive right in. AI is absolutely everywhere, and it's promising to totally reshape the way we all work and learn. So today, we're focusing on corporate training to ask a really big question. With all these powerful AI tutors coming online, is the era of the human instructor? Well, is it over?
You really can't deny the massive wave of excitement. Companies all over the place are jumping on board with AI-powered learning. And the promise? It's a future where training is available 24/7, it's perfectly tailored to every single employee, and you can scale it across the entire globe. On paper, it really sounds like a complete game changer.
But here's the thing. As this technology actually gets rolled out, a lot of leaders in learning and development are starting to ask a pretty critical question. Is the reality of AI training, is it actually living up to all that hype?
So to get to the bottom of this, we're going to dig into a new report from Virtualization Options LLC. They're a Colorado-based technology research firm, and they've really crunched the data to give us a much clearer picture of what's actually going on.
All right, first up, the AI promise. Let's take a look at what exactly organizations are hoping to get out of this technology.
The sales pitch is just incredibly compelling, right? Training that's always on, totally customized, and perfectly consistent, all delivered for less money across your entire global workforce? From a business perspective, it looks like the perfect solution.
But the report from Virtualization Options LLC, it immediately draws this really sharp contrast. That promise of super efficient learning, it's running into a reality of pretty mixed results. And here's the critical part. While AI promises consistency, it can also be confidently wrong. And that creates what the report calls hard-to-unlearn misconceptions. And that's a huge problem.
So this brings us to the other side of the coin. If AI has these pretty significant gaps, what is it that human instructors bring to the table that technology just can't seem to replicate? Well, as it turns out, quite a lot.
Just think about the emotional connection for a second. An AI can be programmed to say good job, but that's just a line of code. It's scripted praise. A human instructor, on the other hand, offers genuine empathy. They can see that look of frustration on your face and know exactly what to say to keep you motivated. That makes a massive difference in learning. And this idea extends to teaching style too. A lot of AI systems, they kind of lead to passive learning, where you're just absorbing information. But a great human instructor, they facilitate active learning. They don't just follow a script, they can read the room. They adapt on the fly to make sure the concepts actually land with you.
Okay, so let's shift gears from the theoretical to the actual evidence. What does the data really say when you put human-led and AI-led training head-to-head? Well, the data shows a pretty clear winner. In a study that the report cites, human-made teaching videos just blew the AI-generated ones out of the water across the board. And look at that gap in application success. That's the ability to actually use what you've learned. It's just clear that human-led teaching creates content that sticks. The report also points to a key study on tutoring, and the findings are fascinating. While AI was great at improving access to learning, it just couldn't match the actual outcomes you get from active learning with a human. Instructors were way better at building critical thinking skills, and a big reason for that was the AI's tendency to make confident mistakes, which just completely eroded the learner's trust. And a key finding from that study really puts it plainly. AI's uncanny confidence in its own errors, it undermines the very trust that is so essential for real learning. If a learner can't trust their teacher, the whole process just breaks down, doesn't it?
So, based on all this evidence, the Virtualization Options LLC report boils the problem down into 4 critical shortcomings of relying only on AI for training. Let's walk through them.
First off, AI just lacks context. It doesn't get your company's unique culture, or its history, or all those little subtle nuances of how things actually get done. So when an employee asks a really complex, context-dependent question, the AI is probably going to miss the mark.
Second, it's just not adaptable enough. A human instructor is constantly running this 4-step loop in their head. They observe confusion, they assess what's causing it, they adapt their explanation on the spot, and then they engage with a perfectly tailored question. Current AI just can't replicate that nuanced, real-time process.
Third, there's the emotional gap, and the report is really clear on this. Human connection is not some nice-to-have feature, it's fundamental. Let's be real, learning new things can be frustrating, and that authentic encouragement from a human guide is often the key to sticking with it and having that breakthrough moment.
And finally, number 4, there's what the report calls the convenience trap. If an AI is always there with an instant answer,
It's just too easy to stop wrestling with problems yourself. A good instructor knows when to step back and let you struggle a bit, because that's where true capability is built. The trap creates dependency, not skill.
So look, the point here isn't that AI is bad, not at all. It's that it has to be used strategically. And that brings us to the solution, finding the right balance. The right strategy is all about playing to each one's strengths. Let AI handle the stable, repetitive stuff. Think software tutorials or basic compliance training. But you save your human experts for the complex skills that require judgment and nuance, like leadership development or creative problem solving. This way, AI becomes a powerful supplement, not a replacement.
And all of this leads to the report's ultimate conclusion. The future isn't AI or humans. It's hybrid. It's all about evolving the instructor's role, not getting rid of it. In this new model, the instructor's job completely shifts. They move away from just delivering content, which is a role AI can handle pretty well, and they become true facilitators. Their time is freed up to focus on what really matters: coaching, mentorship, and developing those critical thinking skills that are so valuable.
You know, a final quote from the Virtualization Options LLC report just sums it all up perfectly. The organizations that are going to win won't just adopt AI, they'll be the ones who strategically figure out when to use the technology and when to prioritize that irreplaceable human element.
Which really leaves us all with a crucial question to ask about our own organizations. As we start integrating all these new tools, we have to ask ourselves, is our strategy building a dependency on technology, or is it building true, lasting human capability? The answer to that is going to define the future of our workforce.